Big sigh.
First of all, I'm just going to say this. If I see a black person walking around with Trump mugshot, I'm going to punch him in the face.
Charles.
No, Gail.
You really can't say that because, A, you don't mean that.
Oh, I mean that sincerely. I'm going to just tell you something.
And then you will be arrested for assault. And then what?
I'm going to bail myself out and go celebrate.
Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him.
Charles Barkley made these comments after Donald Trump said this.
And you know who embraced it more than anybody else? The black population. It's incredible. You see black people walking around with my mugshot. You know, they do shirts.
At that conference,
I'd have got up and walked out. That was an insult to all black people. Because he's basically just saying, and first of all, to compare black history where we've been discriminated against to his plight.
Yes.
Well, first of all, he's a billionaire. And they're prosecuting him for stuff he did wrong. They're prosecuting him for stuff he did wrong. And for him to compare...
It's still in the court system, Charles. We have to wait. It's still in the court system. But continue.
Well,
continue.
Some of the stuff is true. They did storm the Capitol. They did say that the election was stolen. Those aren't lies, Gail. Those are
They
facts.
did say that. They did say that.
But to compare, I would have got up and walked out because it's not a fair comparison. You know, he's a billionaire. He's had a great life. He's been president of the United States. To insult black people who have been discriminated against all these years, to put them in the same category, I was just offended.
Speaking of being offended, his punch comment riled up MAGA.
So in that vein, that clip that you all just saw has been seen millions of times, and there have been quite a few articles written about it, and that's before we even get to the social media comments, which look a lot like this gentleman. He's very large. He's wearing a mugshot of the T-shirt, or photoshops of large men wearing the T-shirt that say, "I hear Charles Barkley's looking for me." They all think that you are ready to run around punching people who vote for Donald Trump. Now, I know when you say that, that was just you making a point. That's not something you would literally do, going around attacking people, right?
Well, let me say, is this my camera right there? I want to make sure people can hear me.
Yeah.
Number one, obviously, I'm not gonna go around punching random strangers in the face, first and foremost. Secondly, people can vote for who they want to.
Yes.
People can vote for who they want to. The point I was trying to make.
There you go.
No, the point I was making. I wasn't trying to make it.
Okay.
When Donald Trump compares his plight with that of the black person, that is what I had a problem with. Now, I do want to say this. I want to make it perfectly clear. If you're a black person and you're wearing a Donald Trump mugshot, you are a freaking idiot. And I'm only saying freaking idiot because they won't let me say what I really want to say. But you can figure it out. It starts with an F.
Thus, hearing the critiques, he wouldn't back down.
People can vote for who they want to. Yes. But for him to compare his plight with that other African, I don't even like that term, the black people in America is asinine and stupid. And like I said, you guys can put on those too small T-shirts like y'all got them on. Get a big size if you're going to wear it. Don't put on a medium and act like you got muscles. But that is so, that bothered me.
That irritates
it bothered me because for him to compare a white billionaire who is in trouble because of stuff he did. Not because of stuff, like black people get in trouble for stuff that happened didn't deserve to do. But for him to compare that to black people's plight, that's just stupid on their part. I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all got Nielsen boxes if y'all gonna wear those tight T-shirts around the house and somebody take pictures. But I'll stick by what I said. If you're wearing a Trump mugshot around, you are a freaking idiot.
Surprisingly, his analysis would take another turn.
The reason I think the Democratic Party and Mr. Biden, President Biden, is losing black votes is they only care about black people every 4 years. They come into our neighborhoods and say, we're gonna make stuff better. We're gonna do this, do this, do this. And then finally us black people are like, man, other than our ability to dunk a basketball, all my neighborhoods are still the same. Our schools are still the same.
Our CEO, Cenk Uygur, responded and gave his take.
First of all, Charles Barkley is 100% right. And this is why when Barkley was signed to do this show on CNN, I said he's going to be the best host on CNN. You know why? He's honest, and that's what he's known for. He's courageous in what he says, and he's rich. Wait, why does being rich matter? because you're not going to intimidate him. Oh, well, you're going to lose this job at CNN, and then you're not going to have money and status anymore. That's what scares a lot of the reporters to being like, what do you need me to say? Of course, whatever's not true, I will say in favor of corporate politicians. Now, they don't say it like that, but it's implicit, right? But with Barkley, good luck trying that. Nothing can shut up Charles Barkley, which is what I love about him. So is it true that the Democrats say a lot of sweet things to black voters to try to get them on their side? Yes. Is it true that they never deliver? Pretty much yes. Is it true that the Republicans are worse? Yes. But so if you're bragging that you're zero and the other side is negatives, I don't think that's the brag that you think it is.
I have a lot of thoughts here, but first things first. If you can, support the network. Go to tyt.com/join to keep us afloat. And if there are any stories that we have missed on this medium of TYT Sports, get at me and follow me. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. DMs are open. Appreciate your suggestions. Cenk touched on it, and I was a little more pessimistic. I'm just going to share a few thoughts here. The first is he is right about Charles Barkley. Barkley has been a breath of fresh air, although you may not agree with him at all times. One thing that I believe NBA fans, sports fans, and also apparently political people is he will not back down from what he believes, for better or worse, which is fine because he's not going out there giving these, principled leftist socialist politics. He's going out there to be like a never Trumper. But he's also said that he's critical of Joe Biden, which is completely fair at this point and at this stage in the game. What I've seen with Charles Barkley from my days of watching him as a player, from the I'm Not a Role Model Nike campaign series, which totally took the world by storm, and then him becoming the most fantastic mouthpiece the NBA could ever ask for on TNT. My only question was, how was it going to bounce from one to another? And it has beautifully. It really has. So on that front, I completely agree with Cenk. I think him calling out a lot of the most powerful people has been a breath of fresh air. He does touch on a lot of things that are important and a lot of things that are true. And it's mainly both of them with Dems versus Republicans and how to vote and what do you get. And at this point, how I personally feel is the American public has just lost faith in the entire idea of big government because we know that they serve their corporate overlords. I was having a conversation earlier today with a loved one, and we were talking about Boeing, and then I brought up East Palestine and how Pete Buttigieg isn't going to do anything because he also gets the same donors and has the same donors as others who are lawmakers that are supposed to put these regulations in place for us. There is this distrust because we know that for 98% of the people in government, it is just a big con job. It is all, how can I lie to voters to then get in office, not do anything, play the culture wars, get played on CNN, MSNBC, even TYT, I'll admit it, Fox News and others, and then say, oh, well, look at this distraction. Look at this mockery that I made on the House floor. Look at this terrible, intentionally terrible interview I did on a network in order to distract the masses from things that we all agree on. From things like Medicare for all, paid family leave, fighting climate change. Oh, by the way, we should ban TikTok. Let me just say we should ban. No. That's not the issue. So I think there's a lot of fatigue from a lot of people who want to vote for what they believe is the right thing to do, but they also feel like on so many issues, they're just not represented. And that is the crux of the frustrations for many, including myself.